One day a little boy was born to a young couple, but unfortunately they had to go to a new place. This is a big risk, because the child is still very young, no one knew what would happen. However, life threw up new adventures every time, including this one. They were sailing on a ship as the sky darkened. It became clear that there would be a storm. Lightning began to illuminate the clouds, having a much more terrible appearance. The waves became even bigger, rocking their ship. They understood very well that the chances of survival were very small. The man helped his wife down to the boat as the ship began to collapse due to the strong force of the ocean. A mother, father, and a little boy sailed to an unknown island on the coast of Africa. The main thing is that they were able to survive that fateful night. Mother and father started to build a tree house for themselves. I hope that now they can start a new life after a second chance. Callie the gorilla gave birth to a baby, but one night Saboru's leopard killed the cub. The gorilla once heard the cry of the child and immediately ran to him. Callie was not afraid and climbed up to this hut. Inside, everything was destroyed. The dead bodies of a woman and a man were lying nearby, and there was a small cub hiding under a blanket. Callie immediately took the child in her paws, but Saboru attacked them from above. The battle began. Callie managed to escape with the boy. When Callie returned to her pack, the others were a little skeptical at first. However, Callie became determined to become his mother and named him Tarzan. Kerchak, who was the head, Callie did not want to accept Tarzan as his own son, but allowed him to stay. Turk, the daughter of another gorilla, befriended Tarzan. The other boys did not want to accept him, and Turk advised that in order for the others to accept him, he had to pull the hair out of the elephant. Tarzan began to try to pull the hair from the elephant's tail with his teeth, but the elephants got scared and thought it was a piranha. Especially the baby elephant Tantor, with whom they became friends. But Tarzan still managed to get a hair. Kerchak said that Tarzan had put many in danger and that Tarzan would always be an outsider in their family. Callie reassured Tarzan, asking him to listen to his heart, because it is the same for them. Tarkan promised to become the best monkey. Tarzan tried very hard, but at the beginning he lagged behind others in physical development. And then he was able to make a spear and other charms. But over time, Tarzan became more dexterous and skillful. He jumped vines, climbed rocks, trees. It all became easy for him. Tarzan tried everything to become native to the gorilla. Tarzan wanted to scare Callie's mother, but she knew about it. Turk, Tantor, and Tarzan jokingly began to fight, but then Tarzan noticed something in the thickets of the jungle. This is the council. Leopards started to fight with Kerchak, but Kerchak was weaker. Tarzan attacked the cathedral with a spear. The battle began. In the end, Tarzan killed Sabora, which later earned the respect of others. Tarzan brought the body of Sabor to Kerchak. Shots were heard somewhere far away. Tarzan went on a quest. He found a cartridge but didn't know what it was. And then Tarzan saw other people. Researchers' father and daughter, and they were accompanied by a security guard who shot everywhere. The researcher's daughter saw a monkey. She was attacked by a whole pack, and Tarzan saved her and began to run away with her. Tarzan is very surprised, because for the first time he saw someone who was just like him. Tarzan touched this girl's hand and then listened to her heart. He repeated a few words after her and was able to say his name, Tarzan. And the girl said her name was Jane. Jane, the daughter of that explorer, asked to be taken to the camp where her father and guard Clayton was. Tacker, Tantor, and others exploring the jungle found a human camp and began inspecting it. Tacker, Tantor, and the others began to tear up the camp, making music. Tarzan and Jane arrived at the camp and saw a gorilla. Jane realized that Tarzan was one of them. Kerchak was furious. Tarzan went away with the gorillas. Jane told her father about gorillas and Tarzan, and then she drew Tarzan on the board, saying that he walked exactly like a gorilla on the palms of his hands. Clayton pursued his goal of finding gorillas, but Jane's father and Jane herself wanted to do something useful for science. Clayton said that Tarzan was a fantasy, but in the same second, Tarzan returned to the explorer's camp and appeared right in front of Jane. Clayton wanted to shoot Tarzan, but she forbade it. Clayton then tried to draw a gorilla to show Tarzan something about them, but Tarzan did not understand human language and only repeated after them, learning more. Tarzan took out a piece of chalk and began to draw some dwarves on the board as well. Jane uses a film projector to show different episodes of humanity. For example, the pyramids in Egypt, cities, ordinary people, space, just photos with relationships between people. When there was a moment where a man danced with a woman, Tarzan also tried to dance with Jane, but it turned out badly. Jane's father showed him the stars through a telescope. Jane began teaching Tarzan to read, then to ride a bicycle and other disciplines, including human relations. Clayton tried to ask about the gorillas. Tarzan came to the camp every morning and studied. Tecker and Tantor noticed how Tarzan was changing and realized that he was never the same. Tarzan came to the camp and watched Jane carefully, noticing when she was upset that she could not draw the tropical bird because it quickly flew away. Tarzan in turn showed the place where there were a bunch of these birds so that Jane could draw them. Tarzan wanted to do everything to make her happy and smile more. Tarzan also learned to walk like a human. He began to understand human language, and when Jane asked to take them to the gorillas, he refused, because he could not do it because of Kerchak. After all, humans were strangers to gorillas and could only cause harm. Tarzan also learned more about human interaction. So he collected a bouquet of flowers and wanted to give them as a gift, but when he arrived at the camp, he saw that there were many people he did not know. Jane said that a ship had come to bring them to England, and she wanted Tarzan to go with them, for his place was among men. Clayton tried to pressure Tarzan by lying that Jane would only stay if she saw the gorillas. Tarzan, being in love with Jane, agreed to take them there. Tarzan asked Tecker and Tantor to distract Kerchak. Tecker and Tantor, disguised in human clothes, distracted Kerchak while Tarzan in turn led them to where the gorillas lived. Jane saw Tarzan's mother and was surprised, because how can a gorilla be his mother, but then she understood everything. Clayton, pursuing his goal, marked this place on the map. Jane asked Tarzan to teach the language of the gorillas. Tarzan taught her a few words. Jane asked what she just said. Tarzan interpreted to her that those words meant that Jane would stay with him. But Jane became upset, repeating that she would not be able to stay with him. He hoped with all his heart that Jane could be with him. Tecker, Tantor returned, and with them Kerchak. Kerchak saw Clayton point a gun at the baby gorilla and attacked him. Tarzan attacked Kerchak to protect Clayton. Kerchak said that instead of protecting his family, Tarzan betrayed it. Tarzan escaped and was later found by Callie. Callie wanted to show him what she should have shown a long time ago. Callie took him to the house where Tarzan once lived with his parents. Tarzan saw a photo of his real parents. Callie revealed that she wanted Tarzan to be happy, even if it meant he was gone. Tarzan donned human clothes and then approached Callie, saying that wherever he was, Callie would always be his mother and Tarzan would always be her son. Tarzan went with Jane. Thacker and Tantor did not have time to say goodbye to Tarzan and were absolutely furious. Jane began to say that Tarzan would become famous all over the world, and everyone would want to meet him. But all Tarzan wanted was to be with Jane. It was painful for Tarzan to leave his native island. When they got on the ship, they realized that there were only poachers there. Clayton only wanted to get rich by stealing animals. Tarzan shouted. Tecker and Tantor heard that Tarzan was in trouble and swam to the ship. Tarzan sat with Jane and Jane's father in prison. Tarzan realized that he had doomed his family to suffering. At one point, the ship wobbled, and then Tecker and Tantor were seen climbing onto the ship and rescuing Tarzan. Clayton's men began putting gorillas in cages. Tarzan ran to the gorillas to save them. Clayton wanted to kill Kerchak, but Tarzan was in time and saved him. The battle began. These monkeys who attacked Jane in the beginning and helped save the caged gorilla appeared. Clayton wounded Kerchak by shooting him. Tarzan began to fight Clayton. Tarzan wanted to shoot Clayton, but was taller than him and broke the gun. Clayton began to fight with his saber and then fell. Kerchak was wounded. Tarzan apologized to Kerchak. Kerchak in turn apologized to Tarzan, saying that Tarzan had always been one of them. Kerchak was killed by Clayton's shot. Now Tarzan the leader was burning instead of Kerchak. Tarzan decided to stay. Jane touched his palm with her palm and climbed into the boat. Jane's gauntlet flew from her hand straight to Tarzan. Jane's father immediately realized that Jane loved Tarzan and he offered her to stay here. Jane jumped out of the boat and swam to the shore where Tarzan was. Jane kissed him, but was immediately ashamed of it. But Tarzan kissed her too. Jane's father also jumped off the boat because he considered the jungle a much better and more interesting place. Callie took in Jane and the others. They jumped the vines together. Jane was happy to be next to Tarzan.